What's going on, everybody? Hey, today we're putting on a Tusk billet side stand extender plate. So instructions are pretty obvious. This doesn't really take a tutorial. I don't do tutorials, but you just happen to catch me while I'm building this. So figured I'd throw it out there. I really just wanted to showcase a small video on this because I just like the componentry of this thing. So the quality of this plate and the fitment I was really impressed by. I've had these on several bikes in the past, different brands. Never had the Tusk, but I like how clean the billet cut is on this thing and how accurate it is and how well it sits in that footbed. So this part, if you're not familiar with these, the idea and background of this would be to extend, the size of your foot plate on your kickstand here. So if you're in I made a short earlier thought about mainly for off-road riding, but I guess even if you're in like hot asphalt. So every now and then you put your bike on hot asphalt and your kickstand sinks. So this is a larger footprint to disperse the weight a little bit wider, but mainly on trails. So if you're rocks a little bit, but mostly sand, loose dirt, mud, having that larger footprint on there will make a big difference when you set your kickstand down on a trail and you don't want your bike to stab in the ground and roll over. Then you got to pick this big old behemoth up an extra time. So that's not fun. Anyway, so I just wanted to showcase, I thought that the quality of this thing is really nice. It's really clean. The piece will go on like this. Basically, comes with, it's billet aluminum, I believe, or maybe billet aluminum top piece here. Maybe the bottom's different material, so that's kind of how it'll sit on there. You got 3 bolts right here. It's a 3mm socket. I would advise a blue or medium strength thread locker on all these. And then the instructions will tell you to put them to 2.5 pounds or 30 inch-pounds. I'm not going to break out the torque wrench for these bad boys, but anyway, you can see there's a little bit of play, so this will kind of move around a little bit on here. The idea is to sandwich this around that foot plate. I would advise the stock spring on these things. This is a 2024 Yamaha Tenere. The stock spring is pretty bad. I've upgraded the spring on this thing to a Nicecnc spring. I bought through their website, Nicecnc.com. Same with these pegs and some other parts I have on here. Mainly Tusk and Nicecnc and Acerbis parts on here right now. I've been really happy with those brands, so I'm confident with those as well. So anyway, having that heavy-duty spring on here, you're adding weight to the kickstand. On a stock one, you will have this thing flapping around quite a bit if you don't upgrade your springs. So that's food for thought. So anyway, wasn't planning on doing a big tutorial, but I guess I'll guide these things in since I'm just sitting here and already got you guys rolling. So like I said, I put a little thread locker on these bad boys. There's a little 3mm socket, hex socket basically. Just a little dab will do. You don't need nothing crazy. Get that one started. Go to the next one. Like I said, we're not going to break out the torque wrench for these bad boys. Those are famous last words when you over torque it and rip the threads out or something stupid like that. But we'll try not to catch the first tutorial in the history of my channel as a complete and utter failure on 3 bolts. So we'll find out. So the thread locker, you're pretty safe on this thing. And the thread locker on something like this is for vibration. Anything on a motorcycle, not anything, but a lot of things on a motorcycle just from vibration in general. It's nice to have a little bit of extra protection on those threads, a little bit of sense of security. It's not going to fall apart. I used to wrench on my own bikes back when I raced motocross, and certain brands seem to have a little better tendency to have parts fall off. I remember I raced in '97, I had a KX250 two-stroke I was racing for a while, and I'm not a big Kawasaki fan for whatever reason. Never have been. Just never been my cup of tea. But man, I tell you what, you could not keep that kickstand on there, or the Kickstarter on that bike to save your life. It didn't matter what I did. No matter what I did, it seemed like that kickstand would come off eventually, blue Loctite or not. So anyway, I think this will flex a little bit right here, is what it looks like. Probably why they have the torque specs, so you don't go too far. But I can feel it tightening up here. Something like this, when you're tightening it up and it's going to flex a bit, you're going to tighten this one. When you tighten this one, that was going to loosen up a little bit. So I'm just going to get these snug. Very small wrench, not putting a lot of torque on this thing, obviously. I'm just going to snug and maybe a little half turn past. I believe, like I said, the socket's a 3mm, I believe. Maybe a 3.5, I'm not sure. Feels like I got a little play. Okay, so I'm tight right there. My wrench is not ratcheting very well. Tight right there. Tight right there. Check this one more time. Yep, loosened a little bit. And like I said, this is a cool device if you're doing a lot of off-road riding. Helps that footprint. When you go set this thing down on the trail, you're checking out something, taking a break, getting some water. You don't want this thing to shove right through some loose dirt, some sand, some mud, push off a rock. This wider footprint will make a huge difference. But like I said, I do have the upgraded spring on here, and that will be a good assistant to this little setup, because you add more weight to the stock kickstand. With the stock spring, you'll have a little bit of flat going on. So this spring is significantly stronger than the stock one. It only cost a few bucks. Tusk carries them, I believe. Nicecnc, bunch of companies. Anyway, so yeah, that's basically it. That's the Tusk billet kickstand. Basically, I would call it an extended foot plate or base plate for the kickstand. So pretty nice little device. Very inexpensive. I can't remember what I spent on, to be honest with you. Probably one of those Thanksgiving or Christmas deals where I was just pushing buttons and ordering shit left and right. But yeah, I'm going to be throwing on an Acerbis engine cover today, the water pump cover, and the skid plate as well. So I'll put some videos out on that. And we're getting ready for finally getting the hell out of here. And probably going to go do a Bisbee, Arizona trip. And then I'm going to take a trip. I'm going to do a Bisbee, Arizona trip and a Tombstone trip coming up here in the next maybe a week or so. I always think I'm going, then I get work coming in, and I'm an independent contractor or self-employed. So when the work's coming, when the hay's here, or the sun's out, you make the hay. You bake the hay. Yeah, that's what it is. Make the hay while the sun's shining. Yeah, that's what it is. So I always make plans, or help comes around, or other opportunities, this and that, or things like obligations. So I'm hoping to have my bike, all the little Farkley accessories. Other than the auxiliary lights, I haven't figured out how I'm running those yet. The kit I bought didn't seem to line up everything how I thought it was going to. So I'm kind of revisiting the well on that. I really want some auxiliary lights. These old man eyes, as beautiful as they look on camera, don't see as well as they used to. So I actually see pretty good in the daytime, very far. Close up, I can't read worth a shit. As far as the small print, got those like reading glasses you get at Walmart cheap. Or if you're staring at my phone all day. But at nighttime, just, you're getting older, things are going faster. It's nice to have a little better field of view. So some auxiliary lights, I already own them. I have the bracket. I just need to figure out the configuration. I tried to go direct to the battery, and it didn't seem to work on the kit that I bought. Bought a little cheapy kit online. So anyway, we're figuring that out right now. We got the Acerbis oversized tank we just put on here. The Rally tall seat, which is amazing. I already have the Nicecnc pegs on here. Got the, I think it was Nicecnc or Acerbis chain guide. Got the Nicecnc rear rack on here. I do have an S8 plug coming off of here for some heated gear and things like that if I ever need it. Stock handguard still. I just put my GPS on here. I ran that through the wires that was already provided with the vehicle, so pretty cool. But yeah, just putting a skid plate on, some engine guards, and then I'm gonna go take a trip. And then when I get done with that trip, I'm going to decide whether I want to put suspension on this thing, and I'm going to go do a Death Valley trip and a Lone Pine trip and throw some fresh knobbies on this bad boy and just go, not hambo, not get crazy. I'm not trying to wreck this thing up. I used to ride my adventure bikes like a total maniac, 15 years ago when I got into the adventure scene. I was 35 years old, coming off racing motocross. So I was taking my adventure bikes and throwing 3,000, 4,000 hours of suspension on them, lightening them up the best I could, aggressive tires that were barely even dot, if dot, sometimes they weren't, and riding them like a maniac and me and my friends trying to get these bikes to places they should never go. And I'm real past that right now. I mean, this bike is totally for adventure camping and two-track and some real basic single track, but I'm not going to push it through Devil's Hole and Big Bear, California like I used to do on my other adventure bikes, jumping it off of stuff. I mean, within regards, if there's a natural jump on a trail, you just pop that wheel and you twist that throttle. So sand would be nice on this bike compared to some other adventure bikes, a little bit lighter. But I guess let's get back to, I'm gonna go take this on this trip. I mean, it's supposed to be slab, a lot of slab, some fire roads, nothing crazy. We'll burn these these commuter tires I have up one more trip, and then I might consider throwing the Racetech front spring and rear spring on this thing, but I'm not going to do anything really wow with suspension on this thing. I'm not really looking for, like I said, a full-blown off-road bike, and my pack styles going to be very light. Before I take this trip out to Bisbee and Tombstone. I'll show kind of my bike setup, what I have on there. Maybe when I come back, I'll show you my unpacking. I did motocamping for years. I ran camping programs through Climb, where I took 45 people camping once a month off their motorcycles. I did it with BMW as well. And some enduro shops that with dual sports on my old KTM and dual sports and Honda dual sports. So I've been camping most of my life. I got to go dig all that crap out of my container next door. This is my workshop. All the crap in here. Jesus H. Gear back there, bikes back there that never get used, dirt bikes in pieces, dirt bikes outside, dirt bikes in here. So my one next door is all my accessories, all my old Climb gear and camping gear and shit like that. So I got to go through there, find all my lightweight backpacking stuff. I used to use a brand called Eureka. I was really happy with those guys back in the day. They were one of the few companies that weren't using the profits to shut down all our trail systems for hiking and or not. For motorcycle riding and mountain biking and adventure riding and exploring. They were shutting down for, other companies were shutting them down for hiking. So I used Eureka for a while. I really liked that brand. It seemed like they weren't contributing that kind of a shutdown of the trail system. So anyway, that's a story for another day. I'll give you a little update on this thing. We'll do some videos on the skid plate that's coming up. And then we'll do the side covers for the engine and for the water pump. And then, like I said, I don't need those for this particular trip. It's going to be mostly a street trip. It's going to be 75% street, maybe 25% fire roads, just exploring. I'm not afraid to go down any fire roads. Obviously, I just tend to always do so. But my next trip is going to be pretty heavy off-road. We're going to probably throw the bike on the hauler in the back of one of my trucks, throw one of my campers on there. I got a couple, a pop-up camper and a regular camper for my full-size Dodge pickup. So most likely throw the camper on there, throw the bike on the hauler, haul ass out to Death Valley area, either like Beatty or towards Rhyolite area, probably that side of the park, and then do Titus Canyon, do the town of Beatty, do the town of Rhyolite, go through the park, maybe all the way over to Ballrat, basically kind of hit all majority of the park, the surrounding areas of Death Valley, and then we'll see if I'm feeling froggy. I'm waiting for snow. We haven't got any real weather up here. It's January in northern Arizona, and normally by now we got so much snow I can't haul anything. So I got a mandatory days off. Right now we've only had snow. I think we've had 5 days of snow this whole season, and we've only had snow stick for maybe 2 days. So which is we're in northern Arizona, 6,000 foot elevation in a high desert between a bunch of mountain ranges. So it looks like Hesperia out here, California, or doesn't look like Phoenix, like lower Arizona, but looks like true high desert, sage, junipers, pinyons, that kind of thing. But typically we do get a decent amount of snowfall, and I'm just chilling right now. Literally chilling. It's cold, but yeah. So we're gonna do. I'm getting back to that. Normally, if that happens, I run a hauling business. So when we're not hauling, it's nice to have a free time to work on projects or mandatory vacation. So I'm kind of looking forward to a little bit of snow, but we may not see it this year. So anyway, so yeah, Bisbee, Tombstone coming up, I believe, hoping towards middle of next week. I should be caught up on all my obligations, and we're just doing a couple little tweaks on this bike. Like I said, it's ready to go right now. I could take off right now. I'm really excited about this tank, 6.1 gallons. It's going to be phenomenal. Very easy deal. I didn't do a very good tutorial or anything like that. I just did a quick little bounce off video on this thing, but I'll give you some range numbers to some degree when I get back, but a very simple install. I do have one problem. One of these threads on this new tank was a little galled up and a little crooked. It's like a Nicecnc. It's actually put in there crooked, which is pretty uncommon. Acerbis or Acerbis, or whatever you want to say. I call it Acerbis. They make phenomenal products, but they do mass produce. They're a major company. I have 3 more things from Acerbis to put on today, but one of the threads, not this one, but I don't think this is, it's the one on the other side. I can get the bolt in a little bit. It's very crooked. It's not the alignment on the plastic, and I looked in there is some galled up threads. So I bought a little thread chaser. I could not find my thread, what the hell you call those things, kits. So I went and bought a cheapie at Harbor Freight. I'm gonna chase the thread on the other side. It might seem like a really simple idea, but I don't want to mess up the Nicecnc, have to pull a Nicecnc out of a gas tank and put another one in. So that's just something I don't want to screw around with, and I don't want to send the tank back because I literally put everything on, and the last bolt was this bolt on the opposite side, and that's the one that happens to be damaged. And when I first started to put it in there, felt a little bit of tension, thought, I did something wrong, pulled it off. You could see it's all galled up in there. So it's just a bad Nicecnc. It's a little angled, and it looks like I don't know if they put them on the machine or how that works, but it looks like it's angled, and it damaged the last couple of threads on there. So probably not a big deal. We'll chase it. We'll get it. If I get that bolt halfway in, we're going on a trip. It doesn't make a difference, but I'm hoping it seats in there nice. So yeah, We're going Tombstone, Bisbee, a couple other ghost towns towards the southern Arizona area. It'll be a little bit warmer down there. And then we'll jam back up to northern Arizona where we live. We will take care of a couple of customers and then create about a 10-day gap in like any needs from me, and then throw some knobbies on the sucker, get the truck loaded up, and we're gonna go out to Death Valley for sure. And if there's no snow over in off Lone Pine, Highway 385 in California, don't like living in California. I'm glad I moved out of there years ago, but man, recreation there is phenomenal. So riding down there is just a no-brainer. So anyway, stay tuned for that. Thanks for checking in, guys. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section. As usual, I'm a talker, man. I have no problem answering anything. So if I can help you guys not spend money in the wrong direction, that's kind of what my channel's on here for, and to just meet like-minded people that want to go riding. I'm old school, man, so we're not into PC. We're not into making people's feelings all pretty. I say it like it is. I'm pretty brash. So that being said, in the comment section, if you have nothing nice to say, I suggest saying nothing at all. But at the same time, if you have nothing nice to say, go ahead and throw it in the comment section. I will respond. So, but expect to get the same energy you give me. So, but yeah, hopefully everyone's having a good time out there. 2026. I would say try to work less if we can and try to play more. I mean, obviously that's always everyone's goal, but try and figure out a way to be as debt-free as you can. And I'm not a good example. I'm a consumer. I buy everything I like, but I'm also in a different financial bracket than a lot of people too. I guess that I was maybe 10, 20 years ago, or some a lot of people are now. I'm pretty smart about how I spend my money, and I have no problem buying toys, and I only have business debt. I don't have personal debt, so that's one way to avoid some of those problems. But try and get debt free, try to take care of the ones you create, and try and go out and do that experience, man. I'm 50 years old right now, and I can tell you this last 5 years, health-wise, even though I'm a pretty healthy person, I work out, I stay, motivated, I'm physically, active. I still ride dirt bikes, I still ride mountain bikes, I still exercise, like I said, I do physical labor. You can just feel the body shut down a little bit, certain parts inside your body, different things, joints and limbs, things like that. So there are some things going on that I would say, don't wait, man. Get out there and do it now while you still can. Maybe hopefully we'll all be able to ride to we're 80 years old, but a lot of us won't. That's just a matter of fact. So take that trip, tell that boss to fuck off, quit that job, whatever you got to do. Horrible advice from a horrible person, but yeah, figure out how to work less and live more, and just go out and enjoy it. Go buy that property. Go take that trip. I'm OCD. Try not to plan everything to a T, to where you're months behind on doing the trip because you're just getting all those details ready. I can tell you, back in the day, I would take I worked in the motorcycle industry, so I could take a motorcycle trip almost any time. So I would just be like, yes. Want to go here? Yes. Want to go there? Yes. This is really dangerous. Yes. We shouldn't do this trip. Yes. I would just go do it, man. So I barely make my mortgage. Yes. Let's go buy that bike. So anyway, I would say figure out a way to have a couple of hobbies, dump whatever you need to money-wise and time-wise into those. But the rest of the stuff, work as little as you can and make as much as you can. That'll be my advice, and go take that trip. Right on, guys. Stay tuned.